What is going on, Washington Commanders fans? It's your boy, Josh Taylor, and we are live to talk all things Washington Commanders. And it was a new location and the same results. And the same can be said about me. This is the first stream in the new apartment in Richmond. So, yes, it looks a little different. Still getting everything unpacked and situated. So bear with me. But we are going to get through this. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we had some more moves that happened not that long ago, and Washington wasted absolutely no time as we head to the bye week. So we have about 2 weeks to talk about a lot of stuff. So I've already started some articles on A to Z Sports.com for the Washington Commanders site. Dropped the first one today, just updating draft pick order and stuff like that. Talk about some roster needs. So be sure to check that out. I also posted it on Facebook and my X account, so make sure you read on that. And we'll talk about the draft. But I mean, come on, man. I said a loss to the Dolphins, no matter how bad the team is just an all-time low. Even though they beat the Bills, I know like they're not that bad of a team. It's just for how high of expectations we had for this team going into the season. Like, we circled this as like a free vacation, like a trip to Madrid, Spain. Like, everyone's going to enjoy themselves, like whatever. This is going to be an easy game. Like, this is the game to go to. And you lose in overtime, just with bad mistakes on special teams. Mikey muffin the punt, which should he have been back there? Who knows? I say no. Put one of your kick returners back there. But then also the two missed kicks by Matt Gay that ultimately got him released this afternoon before Dan Quinn talked to the media at 3:00. And we won't hear from DQ until this time next week. So for a whole week, y'all got to deal with me instead. So no DQ, but JT will be here. What's going on, Mr. Andrew? Hello. Liquid Alex said no more Matt Gay for sure. How are we feeling about Moody? So yeah, that's the kicker. No pun intended. You get rid of Matt Gay, who was terrible this year. He finished up, like 68% of his kicks. And he was just awful from 50 and beyond. And they bring in Jake Moody. And I have a lot of friends and acquaintances and buddies and, people that I love keeping up with that are 49ers, reporters or content creators or whatever. And I've just seen the roller coaster of Jake Moody over the last few years. And I'm like, great. Now we are going to, get on that roller coaster after the bye week. And this is somebody, that Adam Peters coming over from San Francisco knows Jake Moody. I don't think Adam Peters was responsible for drafting Jake Moody. Or was it like the third, fourth round, something ridiculously stupid? You never draft kickers, by the way. You never draft kickers. But I will say Moody looked so much better with the Bears, in his short stint with them. But I mean, he did kick a field goal to beat Washington this season, so he has that as well. But now he comes over to Washington to try to do the same. And, gosh, I really feel like we shouldn't be talking about kickers this much, but this has been such an issue for a season and 3/4, whatever you want to call it. We'll just say 2 seasons now. This has been a big issue for Washington. What is this, kicker number 9? I think this is kicker number 9 after I don't even remember his name, the guy that they just signed a couple of weeks ago for that one game. I don't even remember who. Like, I've lost count. I've lost names. I can't keep up with the kickers that Washington had. And it's funny enough because the first one, Brandon McManus, the one they let go with his legal issues, which eventually got dropped. He was the right one. They had it right the first try. Like, Brandon McManus, he's a great kicker now on the Packers. So it's just like, man, they had it right. Got scared, got nervous, whatever. Just with all the stuff that he had going on, and they decided not to do it. But now they have Jake Moody, so we will see what happens. We needed Matt to help with the tank, though, says Mr. Andrew. We did, and he did his job. He did his job in Madrid. What's going on, Justin? My thing is, you're in Madrid, Spain. There are thousands of people over there that can kick field goals. And you come back with nothing? You come back with Jake Moody? You're in Spain. I mean, they make way more money kicking soccer balls than they do in American football. But still, Some of them La Liga kickers, man. You telling me you couldn't get one of them to be a field goal kicker? I mean, you should have took advantage of the location. Jake Moody, same kicker who brings brought Bears win, comes to the Commanders. Yeah, you beat Washington, now you join them. And it's also the same guy that Debo like smacked upside the head on the 49ers when they were mad at each other. So now they're teammates again. So we'll see how that works out. I'm sure they'll have a little talk now that they're on the same team. Club 100, congrats on the new spot, bro. Appreciate it. How can we add more weapons in the offseason for JD, and who do we pick in the first draft? So maybe we'll do a little mock draft tonight. Maybe we'll get a little crazy and do a quick mock draft tonight. I feel like it's about that time. I feel like we need a running back one. We definitely do. That's something I put in the article. Like this whole rotation of running backs, like I'm not with it. It doesn't excite me anymore. And I told people before the season, out of everybody, I think Chris Rodriguez is the best one. And it looks like right now, like he's the hot hand. I think he looked good. He's looked good over the last few weeks. I thought he had some really big runs against the Dolphins. I'm not saying, Bill's not it. Love Bill to death, but you definitely need a running back one. And there's so many different free agents out there. Shoot, if we have time, I'll look at some free agents too. But like Kenneth Walker, Rico Dowdle, who else is out? There's a ton of running backs is like the most loaded spot. And I'm blinking right now. I want to say J.K. Dobbins is going to be. There's a lot. Javonte Williams on the Cowboys. There's like 4 or 5 like other really good ones. And of course I can't remember them right now, but I think we definitely like free agency. Go get a running back one, a true running back one. AP really bringing every 49ers player to the roster except for 2. We desperately needed Greenlaw and Hufanga. Yeah, both of those would have been great, honestly. Adam Peters and his obsession with the 49er rejects. We'll see how it works out. What's going on? Radar. Jacob Moody is hot ass. I don't disagree with you, but we will see how it turns out. He's got to be better than Matt Gay. Got to be. There were 3 UDFA kickers that were available after the last draft. They didn't go for any of them. AP wanted Matt. Yeah, there was a bunch of them that I was following. I don't think, did Ryan Fitzgerald for the Panthers, did they draft him? Because I want to say, I know Borregales got drafted by the Patriots. But Ben Sauls, he's currently on the Giants practice squad. He's been on my list too. The kicker that went to Pitt. He's someone that I've been watching for weeks now. But yeah, I was disappointed. Like, I mean, when I was at training camp, Matt Gay looked good to start like practice. Like Matt Gay looked fine to start training camp. Like exactly what you wanted to see. And then once those preseason games started to happen, that's when like we started to see his struggles, and then it started to carry over in training camp as well. And I was like, man, I remember I sent out one tweet. I was like, I don't want to jinx anything, but Matt Gay hasn't missed a kick at practice yet. And after that, it went downhill. So I apologize for jinxing that. But when I was at training camp, Matt Gay was on fire. And then those last few days, it was just like, man, he looks terrible now. And then, like I said, you saw it in preseason, and they refused to bring in competition. They refused to bring in any kind of competition, which just blows my mind. But here we are. Matt Gay is gone. The biggest 1-year fully guaranteed contract for a kicker ever. It was like right under $5 million fully guaranteed. I think it was like 4.75, something like that. But man, crazy. Bringing a soccer player like the Cowboys did with Aubrey. Yeah. What's going on, Range? Welcome. I would love to add K9 in free agency. I would love that. Don't know if they'll let him go. Who are some FA would you keep and let go? So I'll go over some here, but that's definitely this week with the bye week. I'm focusing, like, I mean, if there's still people out there that say the season's not over yet, God bless them. Thoughts and prayers for every single one of them. Because this season, I said it, after the Dolphins game, the season's officially over, because I've been saying for the last 4 weeks that the season's over, and everyone's like, oh, Josh, there's still a chance. There's a 5% chance. Josh, there's a 3% chance they can make the playoff. It's under 1% now. They're not making it to the playoffs. I'm at big picture outlook now. I'm thinking big picture stuff. And it's just like, man, I'm looking at free agents. I'm looking at the draft. So for this bye week with no game, I'm taking full advantage. I'm doing articles on defensive coordinators that, first off, that Quinn knows, but then also some outside the bubble guys. So I'll drop my first little defensive rebuild piece in the morning. But like I said, I started talking about draft pick stuff, and I'm gonna start looking at prospects for y'all. I'm gonna start, doing all that kind of stuff this week with no game. So don't expect some matchup to watch kind of crap post from me. It's gonna be early look at free agents, maybe like a little off-season mock where I'm talking free agents, draft, all that good stuff, guys I'm gonna bring back and everything. But we'll definitely we'll go over it. I'll share my screen here in a minute and we'll start talking about some draft stuff. And but I do want to talk about the defense real quick. Was waiting for that Tucker notification to hit. I just don't know if AP would have wanted to do all that, have to deal with that. If we win that game if he makes that kick. Yeah, I mean, if he makes either those two kicks from beyond 50, I knew he was not making 56. When they went out there for 56, I said, hey, no way, we're going to overtime. We need good defense players to come over via free agency for sure. Josh, who are you excited to see at the Senior Bowl? I know it's early. Yeah, no one's accepted any invites yet. So I have no idea who's going. But honestly, like wide receivers, like I'm really hoping to see some wide receivers up in person because those are the guys that usually stand out to me. Like Kyle Williams did last year, if y'all remember the hype. Trey Amos was a guy that stood out to me at corner that I talked to a bunch. Yeah, I mean, in those kind of environments, it's like I want to see those guys that are in those one-on-one drills, pass rushers, same thing. They get hyped up. Like remember Mike Green was getting, hyped up because of that play he had on Josh Connolly Jr. So for me, like wide receivers, corners, pass rushers, and I guess linebackers too. It's just such a hard environment there because you're not like full on tackling players and like contact stuff. But yeah, it's early, but I just applied for my credentials. I think this is like year 7 for the Senior Bowl. So we'll see. I did some simulations, and honestly, if we do lose to the Giants in week 15, then we ought to jump to 5. So here is hoping. And honestly, the Giants should have won like 2 games in the last like 3 weeks, and we should be ahead of them. So maybe they're tanking as well. John, this team needs to stop with Commanders tag BS. We need talent if they are good. I don't care. I agree, man. Just get good people here. Like I want to trade back so bad. That's why I want like a top 5 pick. Trade back with if the Jets end up winning a couple of games here at the end of the season with Tyrod Taylor starting, and they're like, hey, we need to trade up and use all this draft capital we have and get our franchise quarterback, then I do want Washington to trade back if they somehow get a top 5 pick. We don't know if Terry's going to come back. We don't know if Jayden's going to come back, but it kind of sounds like they will be. If not against the Broncos, who's the next game after the Broncos? Vikings? Yeah, Vikings. So maybe they come back for that one. But I agree with you though. I just want good players. If they're picking at like 7, 8, 9, then don't trade back. Just take like a legit talent guy, whether that is Caleb Downs or someone of that caliber, David Bailey, someone like that. Radar said, do you like a Tyreek Woolen fit here with us? For sure. I think he was a really good prospect coming out. It's not that he's not a good corner. It's just Seattle has so many corners, and he doesn't really fit their scheme once Mike McDonald came over there. But he's still playing so well in that defense that it doesn't matter. But I would love that fit. And the one thing I'm going to talk about, there's a little sneak peek at the article I have dropping at 5 a.m. is how Dan Quinn needs to just go against like what he believes in and not just go get a Raheem Morris once he's probably going to be fired from the Falcons. Don't just go get a Raheem Morris and, call it a day. Whether it's like a Jonathan Gannon or whether it's like some young guy, whether it's, college or even like Al Harris. I know he knows Al Harris from the Dallas days, but like don't do the same. Oh, I'm going to go get my guy. Don't pull a Joe Witt Jr. 2.0. Like we need somebody as the new defensive coordinator to come in here, lay out their blueprint, and just say like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what my scheme is. And he needs to just rip the roster top to bottom, look at everybody, see who can play where with what roles in that new scheme, and just have like an overall blueprint. Like we need a refresh, like a reset. I'm not saying get rid of every starter and just start fresh. That's not what I'm saying. Because I think what we saw against the Dolphins is that this defense does have talent. This defense does have talent. It's not just, the crapshoot that we've been seeing every single week this season. I think we finally saw some belief. We finally saw some motivation out of that team. They've been defeated and just flat all season, it seems like. And I think that was a majority of what we were seeing on the field. It wasn't a lack of talent. Now, of course, we do have some holes on the roster. There are some guys that need to be, replaced, and some guys need to play better. But like, man, you just get a young defensive-minded coach in here, kind of like what they did with Cliff Kingsbury. It's so funny because the hiring of Cliff Kingsbury and the hiring of Joe Witt Jr. were complete opposites. Joe Witt was his guy that has his scheme. He's very familiar with them. Cliff Kingsbury was his own just offensive guru who was just looking for another chance, going from college to back to the NFL. And Washington gave him a chance, and it worked out like perfectly. Say what you want. Some people love Cliff, some hate him. But last year, that success was through the roof. Like, the offense was clicking, even with random wide receivers behind Terry McLaurin. Like, JD5 had a, historic season. He was awesome. And it's not just a one-way thing. It's Cliff and Jayden Daniels working together. And, of course, this season, Jayden Daniels missed a majority of the season. Terry McLaurin's missed a majority of the season. They've had a lot of injuries. Like, defense, people won't talk about injuries. Like, save that crap. The defense just sucked. Offense, they actually had some legit injuries. Austin Eckler going down the second game of the season. It's just, I feel like that success would have been there still. Would have been the same exact capacity as last season. Who knows? That's a big what if. But I'm just saying, though, hey, the hiring of Cliff worked. The hiring of your guy, Joe Witt Jr., did not work. So learn from your mistake if you're Dan Quinn. Bite the bullet. Don't just go the comfortable route of getting Raheem Morris. And it's going to be underwhelming to me. I'm going to be honest. It would be underwhelming to me. But go get someone, even like Jonathan Gannon. If the Arizona Cardinals let Jonathan Gannon go, he's very high on my list. Him and Al Harris are like top two guys on my list. Let me catch up here. I think we end up at pick 6. I just don't know what QB needed team we could trade with, being that I predict Jets, Saints, Vegas, Arizona, Titans all being ahead of us already. Yeah, Jets are the weird one. Because like I said, maybe now that they benched Justin Fields, they have Tyrod. I mean, Tyrod played lights out when he had to play. Then he was hurt. I think the Jets could steal two more wins. So I think that there's a chance that they finish somehow with a better record than Washington. Like I said, depends on if Jayden Daniels and Terry come back. But there's a lot of quarterback needy teams, a lot. So somebody's got to fall behind Washington, in my opinion, and someone's going to want to trade up. Also, I feel like this team limits its options to players with connections to coaches. It really limits us from the talent of the rest of the league. That is for sure. And like, I get it to a certain standpoint because you want to make the safe plays, especially like for AP, like it was the way to go for the first year for sure. Because you're trying to revamp the entire roster. They had the most roster turnover of any team in the league that season. You can't afford to just bring someone in here that's not going to help you set the culture, someone that's going to miss team meetings, someone like, I'm not saying like Keon Coleman because he was a rookie, but I'm just saying someone that's going to, hurt the team in a locker room standpoint, someone who is going to, Jamar Chase spit on somebody, lie about it, and then get suspended for a game. Like you don't want those like classic bad free agent signings where you're like, holy smokes, we signed this guy and he sucks. So now we're stuck with that contract. It holds you back from rebuilding the roster even more the next season when that salary cap of that sucky player gets even higher. So like, I get it. For that first season, you have to find people that, the Zach Ertz, the Bobby Wagners, and some of those guys. But offseason 2, it's like, you really didn't do anything. But now offseason 3, it's got to be like, all that's out the window. We can't be conservative. We can't just be stuck with guys that we know. We can't just go to the 49er, the well, and see who they're getting rid of and bring them over here. You got to go outside the bubble. You got to do what the Patriots did and just spend some money. spend some money. And I know they have a super easy schedule, but still, the success is on the field. They have a dang good coach with Mike Vrabel, but they actually went out and got aggressive. They said, we need to build around this quarterback. They didn't say, hey, we were one game away. Let's just do some very small flash in the pans kind of moves and hope for the best. Let's hope Von Miller can get us 10.5 sacks. Let's hope that Dietrich Wise turns into a legit starter. Well, he got hurt. Will Harris got hurt. So your top two free agents, pretty much, and Javon Kinlaw, in my opinion, he's been sensational. I feel like he's been the best free agent signing they had. But outside of Javon Kinlaw, everybody else got hurt. Or it was just not that impactful of a signing. I feel like Jacob Martin's been really good. But it's just like, what else did you do? Now, of course, Laramie Tunsil was a trade. Deebo Samuel was a trade. But in that free agent class, I just feel like they could have done a couple more moves instead of Dietrich Wise, and I'm not saying instead of Will Harris, because like I said, these guys have been hurt, but I just feel like they could have swung a little bit more. You had guys like Josh Sweat that were out there, Javon Holland maybe. Like there was a lot of guys that we really wanted them to swing at, and it just did not happen. I want Al Harris, or if Cleveland cleans house, Jim Schwartz. Cleveland will clean house for sure. And Cleveland's defense is on fire right now. They're legit. I wouldn't mind Jim Schwartz, even though he is older. Tommy T said Jets coach Aaron Glenn. See, I feel like they were going to let him go, but everyone keeps telling me they're going to keep Aaron Glenn for like another season. So we'll see. I think Al Harris would be a great fit and a dog for us as the DC for sure. Real quick, Al Harris worked with Quinn in Dallas, same system. So yeah, same system. I feel like unless he changed something up, but like the Bears lead the league in interceptions right now. And I want to say 3 of the Bears players are actually the top interception guys in the league right now. So yeah, Al Harris is a great coach. I would love him for sure, especially since, he's not, especially because he does know Dan Quinn. Like he's the only guy, because he's still younger too. He's not like some old head. I feel like Al Harris would be the only Dan Quinn guy that I would be hype about. Do you think the Commanders can run a 4-2-5 defense? I mean, no one really has a base defense anymore. Daryl, you have to adapt so much. No one just runs a traditional like 4-3 or 4, or a 3-4, like a 4-2-5. You're switching up so much. But from a 4-2-5 standpoint, Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu just aren't good enough in coverage to where you can actually do that and play like quarters where you're dropping, your corners are going back, your safeties are going back, and you have Bobby Wagner and you have Frankie Louvu covering the middle of the field, or even like cover 2. Like I don't like them in zone. I don't like Frankie in zone. I don't like Louvu in zone. I don't like him in coverage at all, but I'm just saying, like, shout out to Jordan McGee, man. I hope Jordan McGee can start next season, or I hope they swing on like a Quay Walker or a Devin Lloyd, or maybe they go in the draft to get like an Arvell Reese, or CJ Allen from Georgia, someone like that, because they desperately need a really good linebacker. Personally, I would love if they could get someone like Christian Harris or Ronnie Hickman in free agency. I love Christian Harris. Shout out to my Bama boy, linebacker over with the Texans. Quentin Williams will be a full go tonight for the Cowboys. Just saw that. Shout out to Merle. What's going on, man? When you watched all 22, do you see any T-lead or wham run plays in gap scheme? Plus, I love when Cliff runs it. I think in I formation. Not a lot of it, honestly. I love a good wham block, especially with Bates, especially with Ben Sinnott, but I feel like he gets away from the run game, but then he also kind of has to. In the last, besides the Dolphins game, you're getting blown out 21 point, blowouts, 4 straight, and you're down by double digits to start the game. He talked about that. It's one thing I love about Cliff. He's so honest. He's like, yeah, to be honest with you, we can't really set the run up when we're down double digits. Like, I'm like, finally, like Cliff is preaching. But also the run game has gotten stagnant. So has Bill, unfortunately. So I say give Chris the Rock a little bit more. I think the Saints win more games as well. I hope so, man. I hope they do. Al Harris or Will Muschamp. I don't even know where Will Muschamp is right now, to be honest with you. I'm surprised no one's called him back up in college. But yeah, I love Will Harris. This quarterback class is meh, especially if Dante Moore or Sellers stay. Dante for sure should stay, and Sellers should for sure stay. I think obviously Ty should declare, which I hate because I love Ty. But then also Mendoza. I don't know who else would declare. I mean, if Moore's getting like top 5 talks, then maybe he comes out. But still, only takes a team like Jags to trade up for a non-QB. Yeah, I mean, maybe Arvell Reese is going to be good enough for somebody to want to try to trade up and get him. We'll see what his draft process looks like. But there is some really good defensive talent, guys, that could be there at 5, 6, 7, even up to 10. I think Caleb Downs could be a guy. We see it every season where a safety just falls back a little bit more than they should. I mean, Kyle Hamilton did it. Every draft cycle, there's a really good safety. We're like, man, why did he not go higher? And then he balls out. We're like, man, why did he not go higher? I think Caleb could be one of those guys. I'm not saying he's going to fall out of like 15 or something like that. But if Washington finishes at 5 and they trade back to like 8 or 9, I think there's a chance Caleb could still be there. You just have to think about the quarterbacks, the pass rushers, Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver, depends on what his looks like and, how things shape out between now and April. And then the offensive lineman, like the higher position value, Jeremiah Love. Who knows how high Jeremiah Love is going to go, running back from Notre Dame. Like, he can throw a wrench in it. Like, positional value of a safety is like, how much can a safety actually help you? Caleb Downs, it's a lot. So teams are going to make an exception on that. The same people were doing it to Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State that got drafted by the Colts. Like, oh, Tyler Warren, he's, not going to be a traditional NFL tight end. He's not going to be good enough, blah, blah, blah. And he's sensational this season. He should have went higher than he did, to be honest with you. Wouldn't mind Titans defensive coordinator Denard Wilson. I gotta look a little bit more into him. I avoid Titans games as much as possible, to be honest. What do you think if we add Aaron Glenn as our DC if he gets fired from the Jets? I mean, I wouldn't hate it. But I think looking back at it, he really wasn't that good of a defensive coordinator. Shepard's been way better for the Lions. Like in his, few weeks as the defensive coordinator since the season started, Shepard's been better than what Aaron Glenn was. Like, I think low-key Glenn leaving was a blessing for the Lions. I hate to say it, but I mean, I'd be like, cool, but it wouldn't be one of those like, all right, I love this kind of hire picks, but I wouldn't hate it. I mean, it's obviously an upgrade from what we've had, but I don't want just an upgrade. Like, I want a home run hire. Like, I feel like Cliff, when he got hired, like, that was a home run hire for me. And Joe Witt at the time felt like it was going to be like, everyone's like, oh yeah, this is the guy you want. But the whole time it was out here. So it was not Joe Witt Jr. I know we have a lot of cap space, but with 25 plus free agents, are we not forced to take the same route as last season? Yes and no. They still have plenty. So I'll bring up the salary cap here in a second, kind of talk about it, because I saw that going around a little bit today as well. Let me get through these last little chats real quick. Hey, Josh, I want to seriously understand what Adam Peters is thinking. Chef, he's probably ready for the offseason like the rest of us, man. Texans will clean house also. Be on the lookout for them. I'd be surprised, honestly. I think D'Amico's got a good setup going there. I think they could be better than what they're doing this season, but we'll see. I think we tried to go after Al Harris before, right? I don't know 100% sure if we tried to get him. I'm sure Dan Quinn wanted him as like the passing game coordinator or defensive passing game coordinator or like defensive backs coach or something like that. But I'm not sure. But I feel like he definitely would have had to have, because Al Harris is a genius at this point. Reese and McKee would be a scary duo. Yeah, it'd be nasty, to be honest with you. What do you think about Sonny Styles? I've gotten a lot of DMs about Sonny Styles recently, to be honest with you. And I like him a lot. I do need to watch him some more, because every time I'm trying to watch Sonny Styles, I end up going to Reese, just because Reese is so freaking good. But Sonny Styles is a beast too. I mean, I liked him last season, but I've only watched 3 Ohio State games this year. And he stood out to me with a lot of hustle plays. So I'm definitely going to circle back on him. Do we trade down or pick top 5 for a stud? Tom, let's pull up the draft picks. I'm going to share my screen because I keep telling y'all I'm going to do it. So let's talk draft real quick. Let's talk draft. And I'm definitely going to be doing a mock draft article coming up this week, the first one. I know I'm just as excited as y'all. So this is what Washington is projected to get right now. If the season ended, these are the picks, and they have us getting Arvell Reese. This is Tankathon, by the way, which would be insane. And then Romello Height. Romello Height's my guy too. Love Romello. I was on the Romello train last season when he was at Georgia Tech. I'm a big fan. But I doubt we would double down to go Arvell Reese and Romello Height. I think Reese is going top 5. There are some whispers. There are some murmurs. I don't know anything about him, but there have been things that there's going to be a lot of red flags about him that come up. Look, shout out JD, man. He's everywhere. So we'll who knows? Maybe Reese falls a little bit when these red flags come out, whatever they are. I don't know. I can't speak about him, but maybe he could fall to 7. I just don't see that happening. But right now they're projected to get the 7th overall pick in the first. They don't have a second, which sucks in this draft. Look at that, lost 6 straight. Crazy. Then pick 71 in the 3rd, pick 147 in the 5th, 185 in the 6th, and then 191 in the 6th by way of San Francisco, by way of Minnesota. I want to say that was the trade for their running back. Who the heck? What's his name? I can't remember. Wow. I literally just blinked. They traded their running back to the Vikings and got the pick, and then they traded that pick for B-Rob, and then they picked 221 in the 7th round. Someone tell me what his name was, because it's going to drive me nuts. I cannot remember that running back's name for the life of me, but I know I've like 1,000 of his trading cards that are like numbered or autographed. Jordan Mason. Thank you. That's who it is. Yeah, I have a ton of his cards, and it pissed me off every time I pulled them. But so, I mean, it's not a lot of draft capital. But if you're looking at it, and we'll go over to the teams real quick. Let's go full order. And shout out to Tinkathon too, because they just blew it up to where you can go like the entire draft order and keep up with stuff. But just looking at the teams ahead of Washington, Tennessee is going to finish with a worse record. New York, actually, let me do the other one because it shows it better. Here we go. This is what I like. Giants are 2-9. They should have had another 2 more wins. Like they should be 4-7 right now. It pisses me off. But Washington at 3-8. Cleveland, Shador is going to start. I mean, he's just not good. I hate to say it. I don't know if they win another game this season. Their defense is insane, and they still can't win. Myles Garrett is, I mean, playing at a Hall of Fame level right now. Just absolutely insane watching what he's doing. But then New Orleans, maybe they steal 1 or 2. But I'm telling you, I think the Jets steal a couple more. And, of course, tonight we are giant Raiders fans. I might even put some face mask stuff on me with the Sharpie and pull hard for the Raiders. Y'all know I love Max Crosby. He's my favorite player in the league. But we need them to beat Dallas. Now, Dallas would go down to 3-6-1, but Washington would still have the better pick. But then Vegas would be 3-7 and would jump here because you want the lower strength of schedule. So like see how 2-8, 2-8, 2-8. They calculate the strength of schedule, which this changes. It's based off of the percentage, the 1% of your schedule. So obviously, as you face teams, their record changes, and that's what they base it off of. So this can change. Like Washington was like 0.5, like 5 the other week when I was looking at it. So this is dropped, which is good. You want this to be as low as possible, to be honest with you, but you just want them to keep losing games at this point. So if Vegas goes 3-7, obviously Washington has 1 more loss. They'll be ahead of them anyways. But regardless, Vegas has a much higher strength of schedule at 0.548 instead of 0.509. So Washington could be 6th tonight if the Raiders get a win. That's a big if, though. I mean, they're so bad. But honestly, so is Dallas. Their defense is atrocious. So we'll see what happens with that. God, the Rams are the best team in football, and they're about to have a top 10 pick because Atlanta sucks. Michael Penix Jr. is probably out for the season, and Drake London might be out for the season. Insane work by them. And that's another reason why you trade back with some teams because you just never know. So, like, say the Jets trade a pick for this year and next year and try to jump us. So, like, say we finish ahead of them. Say Washington finishes 5, the Jets finish at 7 or 8, and they want to jump. you know dang well the Jets are not going to be good next season. So if you trade with them, this is going to be Washington next season, getting like another top 10 pick. And hopefully Washington is in this range by this time next season, 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, whatever. And they would have like a top 10 pick for the Jets or one of these quarterback needy teams that are still going to suck next season. So that's why I'm like, one of us is not like the other. And I know right now we're not a good team, but you cannot tell me that Washington is in the same bucket as the Titans. I'll let the Giants slide because I think they're good. The Browns, the Saints, the Jets, and the Raiders. You cannot tell me that Washington is in the same atmosphere as them. You can't. Like, bad season. I know the roster is bad. I know the team sucks right now, but as an organization, after what we did last year, I'm sorry, but we do not belong in this group. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. The only games I see us maybe winning is the Giants game and or week 18 game if Philly rests the starters. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like a Philly rest. But Philly's fighting for that right now. They're in there. I think they're the number 1 seed. Are they the 1 seed over the Rams? I think they are. I can't remember. They might be. I think they are the 1 seed over the Rams. But I mean, it's going to be close. I mean, the NFC is insane. The Bears, fraud alert, 7-3. They're not like the rest of them. But like Rams and Eagles are going to be right there. Seattle, regardless, is going to be right there with them. Green Bay, we'll see how they shape up. But still, San Francisco's right on their heels. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be able to afford to rest players down the stretch. So just looking at Washington's schedule, are they going to let me go to it or do I have to? Here we go. Thank you. Denver. I mean, with that defense, I think that's a loss. I mean, their defense is insane. I love their defense so much. Minnesota, God, they suck too. JJ McCarthy is cheeks. Like I don't even feel good about the Minnesota game. Giants, Jackson Dart's probably he's gonna be back by then. Dang, I don't even know if we beat I honestly don't know if they win another game. I really don't. I think that if they do win another game, it would probably be against the Eagles if they rest everybody. But then, like, what shape is Washington going to be in at that point? Like, who else is going to be hurt? That's so far away from now. It feels like a lifetime away. That I mean, Washington only has 6 games left. Thankfully, we're on a bye week, so we don't have to stress about it this week. But like, what's that team going to look like 6 weeks from now? Like, I think Jayden will be back. I think Terry will be back. If it's not against Denver, I think they come back for the Minnesota game. And then you have 5 games with both of them. But we'll see. But, man, I honestly think there is a strong path for Washington getting a top 5 pick. And, all right, let me pull out of here real quick. And let me open up over the cap. Because I know some people talk about free agency. We'll go through that. Let me pull up free agents too. I got all these tabs open. Spot track, free agents. It's funny. I use over the cap for the numbers. I use spot track for the free agents. 2026. Yeah, it's like a 2026. All right, so let's pull up over the cap because there's a lot of questions. I saw a lot of stuff about it today. Get off of here. Capital One ad. All right, let me pull this back up for y'all. So I showed you our draft picks. Oops, wrong button. And here we go. Salary cap wise, this is what Washington's kind of cooking with. And I know salary cap wise stuff can be super, super confusing. What's going on, Alicia? Welcome. So numbers wise, right now the Commanders, this is 2025. Scratch. Still, they're really high. Dang, look at the Rams, man. Just a well-built organization. They probably will win the Super Bowl this year. Everyone looks at cap space and they say, oh, Washington's about to have like $100 million in cap. Don't look at cap space. And I say that because people are like, okay, right now they have $81 million to spend in free agency. That's what this tells me. Not really. I always look at effective cap space when I'm trying to go over free agency stuff. And here's why. Effective cap space means that is truly what they have to spend. $81 million is without your draft like money for the draft, for the rookie contracts is what I'm trying to say. Effective cap space is like, hey, straight up, this is what you got. Now, of course, if they trade Ron Payne, they can free up a good chunk of money. And when you get rid of somebody, or when you cut somebody, you don't get money back. It just saves you that money on the books, unless their contract's built differently. And that's just a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to go down. But 60 million is what it's looking at. And so if you were to get rid of Marshawn, so Marshawn's going to be gone. You get rid of Marshawn Lattimore, they probably have, I want to say his salary cap saving for next season is 18 mil. I want to say it's 18. So they're probably going to have about 78, close to $80 million in free agency. But effective cap space takes into account the contracts that you have on the books for next season. So that's why I love looking at that. It accounts for the rookie contracts on the draft. So when you're doing cap space stuff, I always tell people, look at effective cap space, because you will look at that left cap space number and go insane. I remember doing it in free agency. Everyone's like, oh my God, we have so much money. I'm like, hit the brakes. We don't have as much as you think. We still had enough to make some notable moves, even though they didn't. But right now they're looking at about 60 million, and they can get some more with some moves coming up. But still, they have some money to spend. So that's the good news. They don't have a lot of picks. They only have 6, but they have some cap space. And we'll look at some free agents. We play a ZZX. If we did use the pick, who would we take? You know what? We'll do a little mock draft real quick. I'm going to look over free agents, and I'm going to get to a mock draft for you, and we'll go over that. Who would you take? Ohio State linebacker, talking about Orville Reese, or a D end, either Miami or Auburn, or help Jayden with top wide receivers? Definitely depends how they approach free agency, but just looking at the draft and the pool of free agents, like there's a couple positions I like more than others. I think linebacker is a position in free agency I like. I think running back is a position in free agency I like. We'll check that out real quick. So just looking at some top ones. Okay. Or it's just going to go to this ad. Spot track. Get out of here. There we go. You got like Trey Hendrickson, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Khalil Mack, Debo. Do they bring him back? We'll see. Travis Kelce is probably going to retire. Why does it keep doing this? Spot track. You're driving me nuts today. Kyle Duggar, Joe Benito, Daniel Jones. Like Mark Andrews, tight end, someone I'd be interested in. David Njoku is someone I would look at tight end, because even if Zach Ertz isn't back, he is the worst yak tight end in the league. Literally, he's 33rd, which there's 32 starting tight ends, and he's 33rd. Jacoby Myers, you could possibly get him if they don't pay him, but they just traded for him. So Malcolm Kuntz is a guy I would take a look at as an edge guy, younger, 27 years old. Maybe Tutu Atwell. He's a speedster, only 26. Draymond Jones. I know they just traded for him. Kyle Pitts. If Atlanta lets Kyle Pitts go, then yeah, I'd be all over that, obviously. But while I was telling y'all, John Franklin Myers would be a really good one too. But running back, I'm telling y'all, I love. Yo, Spot Track, what are you doing? They really want me. All right, close. We're closing. Running back. All right, so scratch Najee Harris. We're good on that. Scratch Austin Eckler, Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, whatever. There's some really good running backs here that I would kick the tires on. I think they bring back Chris Rodriguez. Tyler Algier would be insane. Isaiah Pacheco, I'm good on him, honestly. There's some depth guys, but I just feel like they need a bona fide number one running back. So if you can get Travis Etienne, if you can get Rico Dowdle, if you can get Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Who's the other one I was crazy about? Oh, yeah, Tyler Algier. If you can get one of those guys, because you got to remember, teams don't pay running backs. Teams don't pay running backs anymore. So this is where you can take advantage of that. And I'm not saying you're going to give them some gigantic contract, but market value $6 million a year, $7 million a year for Rico Dowdle. Brees Hall's looking at 10.5 or 10.6. Kenneth Walker 10. J.K. Dobbins. I probably wouldn't give J.K. Dobbins 10 because of his injuries, but Kenneth Walker 10, sure. Travis Etienne at 6.5, sure. Rico Dowdle, what he's doing in Carolina right now, I'd give him 7. Yeah, for sure. And then linebackers, another one. I can't, like I told you, this week I'm going to be doing free agent preview articles, and I can't freaking wait. It's so much fun. Where's my top 2? I wouldn't mind Quincy Williams. He's not one of my top 2, but he's definitely up there. Quay Walker and Devin Lloyd are my top 2. Quay Walker's only 25.5, which is crazy. He came out when he was like 20 years old. And Devin Lloyd, just an absolute stud for Jacksonville. He's projected at 20 a year. Wow. Quay Walker, gosh, he might be around there. He's probably going to be a little bit less than Devin Lloyd. I'd say he's probably going to get like 17 though, but still just a really good guy. And there's like 2 more. I have, Christian Harris is a good one. Nakobe Dean's balling out. I know he had that injury for the Eagles. I just don't know if they bring him back. Leo Chenal's another one I would really like. None of these old guys. It's really like the ones that stand out to me. Malcolm Rodriguez is a beast too. I like him. But yeah, there's a handful of linebackers I would honestly be all over. Not if, because I feel like Bobby Wagner, he's gone. I feel like he retires. Even if he doesn't, like, don't bring him back. I'm sorry. Safety. They got to replace Quan Martin. He's just not good. Honestly, just not good. Cisco, Kevin Byard is balling right now. I know he's so old. He's 32. I was talking so much trash about that move. I was like, wow, they really wouldn't got Kevin Byard and thought he was going to do something. Yeah, he leads the league in interceptions right now, I'm pretty sure. Dude's balling. If he's not first, he's second. But yeah, he's playing crazy. Cam Curl's a free agent. That'd be so funny. Gilman, they just traded for him. Geno Stone, Reed Blankenship's another one would be nice. Darius Washington is super small, but he's a baller. Julian Blackman, I kind of wanted him, but they just didn't go after him. Ashton Davis is an interesting one. Stay away from DeMar Hamlin. I love Jaquan Brisker. That's my guy from Penn State. Rayshawn Jenkins, I'd kick the tire. Nick Cross, former Maryland Terrapin for the local fans. He's only 24. I remember him coming out of the draft. I cannot believe he's about to be a free agent. That's insane. Jalen Jones, Kobe Bryant, I like him too. Man, it's so crazy. I'm getting old because I remember covering these guys in their rookie year and now they're free agents. That is insane. Quentin Lake is the one from the Rams. Somebody was talking about that. Yeah, Tommy said both Rams safeties are free agents, I think. Yep. Quentin Lake, he's a beast. I would love to get him. Yeah, Cam Curl and Quentin Lake are both free agents, and they're hooping right now. I'll go to one last one. Let's look at edge defenders, and then I'll do a quick little mock draft. God, it's already been 50 minutes. We are flying through this live stream. Trey Hendrickson, sure. If you're not going to draft one in the first round and you're going to go like Caleb Downs, you're going to go wide receiver, then what the heck? Sign Trey Hendrickson to like a 2-year deal. $23 million a year, I don't even care. Bosa, I'm good on. I would sign Malcolm Kuntz. I would sign Draymond Jones, but like I said, they just traded for him, so I highly doubt that they would let him go. Charles Omenihu, not bad. Clavon Chason, he's had a good season for the Patriots. Odafe Owe, I like him, but once again, they just traded for him as well. Ibakite, I like him. Boye Mafe, sleeper. I love Boye Mafe. Another guy I loved in the draft, and he's playing super well for Mike McDonald. David Ojabo, underrated guy. Uche didn't do anything. Sam Williams didn't do anything. Who else do I like? Shot my guy Dom. Kingsley's not bad. I would take a swinger on him. But I mean, Edge has some guys. You definitely have some defensive guys, and I feel like if you get a defensive coordinator in here, regardless of who he is, college, NFL, whatever, I feel like he's gonna want some veterans, not just a bunch of young bucks on defense. Of course, you definitely want some. And I'm not saying old veterans, but I'm talking 26, 27, like Malcolm Kuntz 27, or Trey Hendrickson, someone of that caliber, even though he's going to be 31. Or like I said, 28-year-old, like whatever. A new defensive coordinator is going to want, someone with some experience. Just get somebody that fits their role. So let me pull up. I've been using this other mock draft simulator, but I'm not going to share that one yet because I just started using it today. Shout out to Kyle Krabs. He kind of recommended this to everyone. I've never heard of it before, but it looks legit. But we're going to do the PFF one for this time until I experiment some more on that other one because I don't know what I'm doing yet. But I do want to make sure that they have all of the picks right. So let me pull this up. We'll do a mock draft, quick mock draft. I told people today that we would do one, so I don't want to disappoint the people. Let me take a swig of water. Give Devin Lloyd Marshawn's money. It's a great idea, honestly, because Devin Lloyd's a beast. Yes, this is a gigantic bottle. Shout out to Essentia Water. I feel like Jonathan Allen, that's one of his sponsors. All right, let's see. Abel said off-topic thoughts on James Franklin to Virginia Tech. Love it. Shout out to Coach Franklin. I like him. Like I said like early October that he should be the guy. And then I heard like a week ago that was a done deal. But I love it. I think it's great for both sides. He recruits the heck out of the state of Virginia better than anybody else. And that's something that both UVA and Tech have struggled with is recruiting Virginia players. So let's keep this here. Let's keep this one up there like that. So it did Washington. Let's make sure they have all the picks, and they don't. So we got a forced trade one. They have 771, 147, 146, whatever, 185, 220. So I need to get 191. Who has 191? It's the one thing I don't like about PFF. They don't update this enough. 191 belongs to. So they do have the Vikings having it on here too. Great. Where's Minnesota? So 191. Whatever, we'll just say pick next year. Start draft. All right, now we have all of our picks. All right, so let's see. Let me zoom in some since PFF doesn't have the crazy ads that Spot Track did. All right, so Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, dang, he went second. Ty Simpson, Mendoza, Arvell Reese, Peter Woods. That sounds about right. So let's see what they have here. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver. Shout out to TJ Parker, recruited him. He chose Clemson over Penn State. Jeremiah Love, running back, Mekhi Lemon. I love Mekhi Lemon. I honestly think Lemon could be the number one wide receiver in the draft. People got so mad at me because I said he's just like Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I'm telling you, he is. Mekhi Lemon is a playmaker. He is worth a top 10 pick. He is worth the 7th overall pick. Will I make that my pick? I don't know. Jermon McCoy, he's a beast, but he's had some injuries. Keldrick Falk, I like him more than people do, and that's saying something because I hate Auburn. David Bailey is a stud. Mansour Delane's a beast too. Cardinal Tate, Cassius House, Sonny Styles. Okay, so we got a good chunk. Like whatever you like, they're here. Can you do 2-1 with trade back 1 regular? I'll do the regular one tonight since we're running out of time, and then next week I will definitely do 2. And like I said, I'll do an article this week with a I'll do an article, if not tomorrow, Wednesday, of a mock draft as well. So I got you, Mr. Andrew. But on this one, I'm trying to think ahead. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, edge, Jeremiah Love. I just can't take Jeremiah Love at 7. I'm sorry. We have too many needs. I feel like that's a luxury pick, and Washington is not a luxury pick team right now. Falk is up there. David Bailey's up there. I would love to trade back right now. But if I'm on the clock, this is what it looks like. I'm picking Jordan Tyson. If Arvell Reese is not there, if Caleb Downs isn't there, if Ruben Bain isn't there, man, I love Mekhi Lemon. People are going to roast me if I take him at 7, but like honestly, he's so close to Tyson. But as of right now, dang, I love TJ Parker too. I know they've had a bad season. Keldrick Falk is huge, but give me Tyson. I'm going with Tyson. We have plenty of mock drafts to do, and I will definitely take Mekhi Lemon a ton. And of course, Washington doesn't have a second round pick, so they fly down the board to 3rd. Jake Slaughter. I feel like I've seen him for years. This is where it gets interesting. Ooh, I kind of know who I want. They got some linebackers, Tremaine York. They got a lot of tight ends here. Claire, Ingris. I love Trigg. Trigg's a beast. So good. Crazy hands. Love Eli Stowers. Nick Anderson's been very underwhelming this season. I'm not sure why he's 79th. I don't see that happening. But to be honest with you, my favorite pick right here is Derek Moore. He's a stud. Whit Weeks is a beast too. But I'd probably go Derek Moore. I'm a big Derek Moore fan. 6'3", 260. He's only 23. Not bad. Solid run rate. Pass rush win rate is insane. 17.1. Yeah, he's got all the goods. If you haven't watched Derek Moore, definitely watch Derek Moore. I was watching him a lot last season. Scouting Josiah Stewart, and he popped up, and he's been having a great season. So I would go Derek Moore. If you can get him at 71, then yeah, it's worth taking a wide receiver in the first round. Thoughts on Whit Weeks in round 3? Yeah, I liked him, but I'd rather have Derek Moore, to be honest with you. I'd rather go free agent for one of those linebackers we were talking about earlier. Look at Nicholas Singleton. And let's see, Washington dropped down to 146 because they don't have a 4th round pick. So we're going to take Drew Allard. No, I'm just kidding. Man. This is my boy Bray Hubbard would be a nasty addition in the 5th round. That'd be an insane pick. I'm going Jacob Rodriguez for sure. Jacob Rodriguez is a stud. All right, so scratch what I said about free agent linebacker because man, Justice Haynes is a great pick. CJ Baxter is a great pick. Bray Hubbard's a great pick. Shout out to my boy Cliff, Coastal Carolina. Shots up. Man, Jacob Rodriguez is a stud. He's an honest Heisman contender right now. Sammy Omosigo, I know I'm butchering that, but he's played really well. And of course, he just beat my Alabama Crimson Tide. He had a lot of big plays. Harold Perkins, I'm so wishy-washy. I don't know what the heck to do with him. Davison, Igwinoson, he's cleaned up his penalties this season. He was really bad last year with it. Man, I would go. I'm stuck between Bray Hubbard and Jacob Rodriguez, but Jacob Rodriguez is so good. I'd take him. 5th round steal for sure. Like I said, he might be a Heisman finalist at this rate. They're giving him like some goal line carries and stuff as a linebacker. He used to be a quarterback, actually. I think he was committed to UVA too, which is crazy. All right, now we got a lot of quarterbacks here. We got some tight ends. Oscar Delp, like him. Bear Alexander's nice. Jayden not disappointing. Should not have transferred. Darius Taylor's a beast. Robert Spears Jennings. Oh man. Like Dane Key. But we already got a wide receiver. I don't want to double down. Domani Jackson. He's bad against the run. He's gotten a little bit better over the last few weeks. 6th round pick. I say he's just like a straight up receiving guy, which we need anyways. 6'7", 250. You better learn how to block. And even if you're not, I don't care, man. Let's put you out in the slot. Tanner Koziol. I know Oscar Delp. I haven't watched a lot of the Tanner kid, so I can't speak too much about him, but his measurements are insane. 6'7" and you're a receiving guy. Let's see what's going on, John. So I'm not going to do a trade back one on this time just because we're kind of running out of time. But I told the other guy, who was it, Mr. Andrew, that I'll do one next week. And I'm also going to do a mock draft article this week as well. Need a cornerback or safety for sure. That's kind of what I'm looking at, man. Robert Spears Jennings. He doesn't miss a lot of tackles, but he's not that good in coverage according to PFF grades, which aren't everything. Jordan Castell. Bud Clark, he's so old. How old is Bud? He's got to be like 28. Nah, of course they don't say. 6'2", 190. He's a beast, though. I like Bud. He's all over the place. He's a good coverage guy. I don't hate that pick at all in the 6th round. You're getting a very experienced defender. I'd go Bud Clark. Let's go, Bud. Let's go, Bud. Good leader. That's what you want for a new defensive coordinator. All right, so we went 1 offensive pick and 3 defensive picks. Honestly, I love the values, though. Jordan Tyson, Derek Moore, Jacob Rodriguez, Bud Clark. Let's go Bo Perbulo, my guy. Shout out to Bo. We can do some goal line stuff with him. Smith Snowden. Do I want a corner or do I want to go offense? I'm not taking a running back. If anyone wants me to take a running back, I'm not taking a running back because I want one in free agency. Drake Bowen's good too. Marlon Klein. Gosh, I want to take a tight end. Like who else on offense? Just double down on wide receiver? I don't think so. I mean, I'd say tight end, man. If you can get Oscar Delp in the 6, what's his measurables? 6'5", 245. I'd go Oscar Delp. I really would. I like Dane Key. Deuce Robinson, he's another one of these interesting cats. 6'6", 223. Jesus. I don't know. I don't trust Florida State wide receivers. And I tell people not to do that, but something in my head tells me not to. Marlon Klein, their offense just hasn't really done much. Let's go Oscar Delp. I like Oscar. Real ones know that he's good. Once again, I don't really trust Georgia's offense to show me the full story on Oscar Delp, so we're going to take him and unlock the best out of him. So we got wide receiver, edge, linebacker, safety, and tight end. I would love to get another, like a depth corner. Ooh, Parker Brailsford, though. Man. Parker can play center and guard. I say they re-signed Chris Paul. I mean, Bosh, I'm not saying Bosh has had a terrible season. It just wasn't as good as last season. Last season, we got kind of spoiled. Man, Parker's Brailsford's really tempting. Just trying to think who else you would want. What other? Jalen Catalon. That's an old guy. He's like in his 8th year. God, he's been here for forever. I just don't like any of these guys at corner, unfortunately. So maybe I will go offensive line. I feel like it's our deepest, but I mean, if it's a 7th round guy, it's a 7th round guy. I do like Kyle Lewis. I like Zane Durant. Man, Parker Brailsford in the 7th is just too good a value. People are gonna hate me for it. Like, oh, you should have took a corner, but dang, I'm really leaning towards Parker Brailsford. Well, maybe Zane Durant. Dang. What if they get rid of Deron Payne? If they do, then I would go Zane Durant. Gosh, I think I'm like the only person that debates a 7th round pick this much. But let me just look at here. Oh, I like Pena. Do like Pena. Peyton Bowen just balled out against Alabama. It made me sick to my stomach. Jonte Cook, wow. Desmond Reed's a beast. If you want a late round running back, that's the guy. That's the Bill Crosby heir to the draft. Desmond Reed. We're going to come back to this in April, and people will be like, wow, Josh was right. Oh, Jamal Haynes, too. Shoot. RJ Maryland. All right. Oh, I do like Jair Hill, though. Yeah. All right. We're Gucci. That's my corner. All right. People don't have to be mad at me. with an offensive lineman. We're going Jair Hill. Yep. I know I took 2 Michigan boys. Oh, well. And what are they going to say? Like an F minus. They told me to draft Drew Allar. Come on, man. B plus, whatever. Bud Clark's a good pick. Jacob Rodriguez is a C, is insane in the 5th round, but oh well. So I did some free agents too, John. Play this back when I get off, but I did talk about some free agents, and like I said, I'll do an article on them as well. Who has the fastest 40? That's a great question. Think we can get Nick Harbor late. He's a DMV guy too. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be one of those weird. Man, he's probably going to have an insane draft process, and his stock's probably going to shoot up. But I feel like I know we don't have a 4th. Maybe someone takes a swing on him in the 3rd. I don't know. I just feel like he's a 4th round pick. I don't know if I would take him in the 3rd. I don't know. He's probably going to be one of the more enticing prospects in the draft, though, just because he's so fast. I mean, he's like DK Metcalf, but faster, just a giant human being. I mean, he's like DK mixed with AJ Brown, mixed with Xavier Worthy. But is he as good as them all? Can he put it all together as a football player, not just an athlete? Who knows? But Nick Harbor is an interesting guy. But nonetheless, I'm only trading back if we're getting a 2027 first, which 2027 draft is going to be chef's kiss. So good. Sure. Just got a pop-up notification. You think we were drafting Jordan Tyson over Cardinal Tate? I think so. For me, I have Tyson over Cardinal Tate. I think Cardinal Tate's so good. Jordan Tyson. I just feel like Jordan Tyson is like Ted McMillan last year. Like, people are going to overthink it, and they're going to want to put the Ohio State guy over him. They're going to want to put, some of the bigger brands. I don't want to say names because Jordan Tyson's a giant name. But Washington did have some scouts at their practice when Jordan Tyson was hurt, and they were talking to their head coach, Arizona State's head coach, Kenny Dillingham. They were talking to them at practice and stuff like that. So they're definitely interested in Jordan Tyson. I promise you. Jordan Tyson is like the guy at Arizona State to go watch. And like I said, their scouts were there like 3-4 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. I can't remember. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. But man, Jordan Tyson's insane. He is so good. Like, if you haven't watched Jordan Tyson play football, I highly recommend you do it. And like I said, Derek Moore too. I feel like not a lot of people are going to know these names, which is another reason why I love this draft. Because Jacob Rodriguez is a phenomenal football player. Derek Moore is a beast. I was telling people about Josiah Stewart last year, and he's having a great season. People overthought his arm length and certain measurables about Josiah Stewart, and I said, ignore it. The film is really good. People didn't listen. He fell in the draft, and he's balling out this year. Bud Clark, like I said, very experienced safety. He would be like an instant rookie leader on that team. I think he'd be a great fit for whoever takes over. A little bit older prospect, but good ball skills, good range. I like everything about Bud Clark. Super smart guy. His IQ, like he will lure a pass. Like, he'll make a quarterback think that a pass is wide open, and he's like, nah, it's exactly what I wanted you to think. Oscar Delp, phenomenal talent, stuck on a Georgia offense that's boring. Then Jair Hill, another really good lengthy corner that I like out of Michigan. If you put maybe if you get Jair Hill, Derek Moore on a team with Mike Samerstel, he's going to be balling. He'll have his guys. How strong is the 2026 linebacker class? I don't know. I know the wide receiver class is insane. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, Ryan Wingo, my guy, Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman. Then edge rusher, you've got Colin Simmons, you've got Dylan Stewart, and you got a lot of edge rushers. I don't know about linebackers. I feel like linebackers, you don't hear about linebackers much until like that season starts. Like, no one was really talking about Arvell Reese that much. People were like, oh, he might be good. I feel like people were definitely talking more about Sonny Styles than they were Arvell Reese. And then Arvell Reese just started. I mean, that Texas game, everyone's like, whoa, this guy's an absolute beast. And they've been keeping their eyes on him. But yeah, I just don't know what that class looks like. But I think this class is underrated. I think there's some hidden gems. Like I said, Kyle Lewis is one. Drake Bowden, Notre Dame is up there for me. But man, Jacob Rodriguez, a legit Heisman candidate. He probably will be a finalist in the 5th round. Is great value. Love his upside. Like I said, he used to play quarterback. I want to say he was committed to UVA now that I think about it. And then he flipped and started playing linebacker, and he was really good at it. But I like this mock draft. First one I've done, to be honest with you, live here with y'all. Sometimes those live ones a little aggravating because you don't know what the heck you're about to get and stuff. So if we draft and sign a tight end, who gets cut from the roster? I just feel like if they sign one, like I said, there's not a lot, but like Kyle Pitts would be like the one that I'm interested in. But like, is he even going to be available? Who knows? But if not, if you can get Oscar Delp in the 6th, rock with Bates, Sanat, and Delp next year, I'd be with it. Oscar Delp, he's a good receiving threat. You just need some yak. And I just want to see what they got with those guys. But yeah, if you can get Kyle Pitts, for sure, get him. And then you don't even worry about drafting a tight end, of course, at that range. I would have gone maybe D tackle. I'm trying to think who was there at that pick. Zane Durant. I'd go Zane Durant over Oscar Delp if we sign a tight end instead of drafting one. But like I said, guys, I like this mock draft. First one, first of many. And I will definitely be doing like I said, more articles on the website for y'all. And let me just do a plug real quick. Check out, this is the page that I'm running for A to Z Sports, Washington Commanders news. All I got to do is go to A to Z Sports, go to NFL, go down to Washington Commanders. This is where I put all of my written content. Did one this morning talking about the 2026 NFL draft, where Washington's projected to go after the loss to the Dolphins. Talked about potential roster needs. And this is like my intro article to this bye week, where I'm going to just do a big deep dive. Got to update it because I did some more after, of course, had to write about releasing Matt Gay. But I'm going to be doing a ton. So I know y'all are asking for a bunch, but do not be afraid to hit me up on social media. Best way to get to me, I've been being better about it. I've been getting better about it, whatever. I've been improving. Checking my Twitter DMs or X, whatever you call it. So you see my name at the bottom left at Josh Taylor FB, like football. So if there's something you want me to write about, send it over to me. I'll get to it this week for sure, or I'll plug it into an article I've already got planned. But for the bye week, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, there's not much to talk about." Heck no. I've been dying for the bye week. I'm gonna be talking about defensive coordinator candidates. I'm going to be talking about people that Dan Quinn know, people that Dan Quinn doesn't know, up-and-coming guys that deserve to be a defensive coordinator, like Al Harris, who just gets positioned like coaching jobs. I think he deserves one. I'll talk about potential guys that can be fired, like Jonathan Gannon. That would be a great option on defense. Then I'll look at some college guys. I'll look at some guys who could be elevated to defensive coordinator in college that are really good defensive coordinators in at their universities or wherever they're playing at or coaching at. So be sure to stay tuned to that. It's going to be a big week. Like I said, don't think that the bye week is just going to be some week off. Like I said, we're not going to hear from Dan Quinn until this time next week. So you won't really have much Commanders news going on from now to next Monday. So spend your time with me. I'll be writing these articles up. Like I said, I'll be tweeting out stuff, of course. I'll be sharing it to the Facebook page if you're on Facebook. I like to put all of my articles there as well. And if you haven't, go like that as well. And then just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I do my short videos. I'll talk about things on there as well. And I'm sure I'll go live next Monday night. We'll talk about some more stuff. Maybe then I'll do a full mock draft with a trade back as well next Monday, since we don't have a game. So I'll put that on the schedule for y'all, but don't think I'm taking this week off. Heck no, I'm putting my Adam Peters hat on, and I am in rebuild mode right now. It sucks because we still have 6 games left. Still have 6 games left. I did not think we would be planning for the future and talk about free agency and the draft and salary cap and all that stuff with this much season left. But this is it. This is the reality. And I had someone tell me something today that I really appreciated. Because I put out this post here. Washington Commanders, the 2026 draft, where they stand and roster needs. And I keep it real. Like, I'm so honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat things and be like, well, they tried. They showed something. That's not me. Like, when the team's good, I'll praise them. But when things are bad, like, you have to accept the harsh truth, or things won't get better. Patting someone on the back when they're doing bad, or just, glorifying, mediocreness. I don't care if that's what a lot of us grew up on with this team. That is not who we are anymore. So I like to break things down. I'm very brutally honest with everything. Like I said, I went through the defense and offense and different things that, maybe they trade Deron Payne. What does that look like? So just check those out on the website. Like I said, I'll be doing stuff all week, probably like 4 or 5 articles a day. I try to put out about 25 a week. So stay tuned to that, but I appreciate y'all checking out the live stream. Make sure y'all subscribe on the way out and hit that thumbs up. Lil C White said, can't believe they didn't flex us out of the Sunday Night Football game. That's probably because Jayden is playing. I was very surprised that Washington's still going to be playing the Broncos on Sunday Night Football. I hate night games, first off, especially for work, because I'm usually up to like 2, 3 a.m., writing and doing press conferences and stuff. But it's just like, us against the Broncos, like, I know the slate of games are really bad that week, but still, this team, 3-8, there's no reason they should be playing anymore. Like, flex us out of Christmas too. Like, put us on Black Friday instead. Like, I mean, gosh, it's absolutely insane looking at the rest of the schedule. I'm surprised they didn't flex us out. But nonetheless, that is the next game, 2 Sundays from now at night. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere, y'all. This is gonna be a busy week for me. I'm thinking big picture stuff. So appreciate y'all coming through the stream. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and I will be back here next Monday night, 7 p.m. I will do 2 mock drafts. I'll do another regular one, and then I will do a trade back mock draft for the live stream. And I'm just going to name that one straight up Mock Draft Live. That's all we're going to talk about is draft stuff next week. But from now to then, I'll be talking about defensive coordinators, free agency, salary cap, everything with the Commanders in the offseason. So I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. And let's go Raiders. Let's get that win over the Cowboys, and Washington can jump them in the draft order. But y'all have a good night, and I appreciate y'all.